Welcome everyone to Guided Notes with Mr. Weeb. This is lesson 3 of our integers unit where we'll be talking about subtracting integers by adding on. The goal is for you to be able to say, I can subtract one integer from another by using a related addition expression. I'm going to use my pencil to write this in. I hope you've got your pencil ready to go. You've got your earbuds in, your guided notes in front of you, and let's see what we've got first. First, we'll talk about two ways of thinking about subtraction. Now, for some of you, this may be a bit of a review, but some of you, it may be a revelation. Now, most of us have heard about the act of taking away, right? This is the classic, this is what we've all been taught in elementary school. If you have 3 apples and Santa took 2, the equation goes 3 minus 2, and you're left with 1 apple. On a number line, it looks like this. You start at 3, you take 2 away, you end up with 1 apple. Okay? What's less commonly taught is subtraction by adding on. Okay? The word problem would look something like this. I have a string that's 3 meters long. Santa's is 2 meters long. How much longer is my string? And really, the equation looks identical. 3 minus 2 is 1. What's the difference between them? Difference is the answer to a subtraction question. So it looks like this. The number line, however, looks a little bit different. On the number line, what you do is you say, how far is it from 2 to 3? You start on the second term, right? So it looks like this. From 2 to 3, you have to add 1. Now, the answer is not down here on the number line, it's here. Okay? And that's what makes it just a little bit different. We're going to go over a few examples today. So our example 1 is 2 minus 3. First, let's just talk about what this is asking us. If we're using subtraction by adding on, what it's asking is, how much do I have to add to 3 to get to 2? And I'll show you how we can use counters to do that. So we start with 3 counters. And what would I have to add to that to get to 2? I would have to add 1 negative counter. So -1, it looks like that's the answer. Let's see if it makes sense on the number line. So if I start at 3, what would I have to add to 3 to get to 2? Well, I would add a -1. And my answer is right here. I would have to add a -1. Let's take a look at another example. This time we're looking at -5 minus 6. So if we start at 6, what would we have to add? If we start at 6, what would we have to add to get to -5? So we start with 6 counters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And what would I have to add to get to -5? Well, I have to add 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 just to get to 0. And then to get to -5, I have to add more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So how many in total did I add here? All along here, I had to add -11. So my answer should be -11. What does it look like on a number line? I start at 6. And I say, how much do I have to add to get to -5? Well, -6, another -5. So in total, that was -11. So in total, -11. Let's look at the next question. (2 minus -3). We start with the -3. 1, 2, 3. And now I want to know, how much do I have to add to -3 to get to +2? 1, 2, 3 to get to 0, and another 2. How much did I add? I added 5. Okay, on the number line it looks like this. I started at -3, and what did I have to add to get to 2? I had to add 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I had to add 5 to get to 2. Let's look at another example. Here we have -5 subtract -6. So we're going to start with the second term because, again, we're asking how far is it from here to there? What do I need to add to -6 to get to -5? So I'll start with -6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And what do I need to add to get to -5? Well, if I add 1, now I've got 1 0 pair and I've got -5. So I really just needed to add 1. On a number line, it looks like this. I start at -6. I add 1 to get to -5, and that's my answer right there. Just a couple more examples, and then you'll be free to do some on your own. Tuesday was -5 degrees Celsius. Wednesday was -9 degrees Celsius. How much warmer was Tuesday? Okay, well, what does this equation even look like? That's the first thing we need to do. We need to interpret it. Okay, so we want to know, what do I need to add to the coldness of Wednesday to get to Tuesday? If that's the case, I need to set it up like this. What do I need to add to Wednesday to get to the warmth of Tuesday? How much warmer was it? Let's have a look at what that might look like. So with our counters, we start with -9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Then, how many would we have to add to get to -5? 1, 2, 3, 4. So, my answer is 4. I added 4 positive counters. On a number line, it would look like this. I would start at -9, and I would add 4. Start at -9, and I would add 1, 2, 3, 4 to get to -5. There's my answer right there. Last one. Abby dove to a depth of 8 meters. Kirby dove to a depth of 3 meters. How much higher was Kirby? All right. Well, if I want to know how much higher was Kirby, I would want to know how much would I have to add to Abby's to get to Kirby's. So it would be -3 for Kirby minus -8 for Abby. What would I have to add to Abby's to get to Kirby's height? What would that look like? Well, we started with 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And how many do we have to add to get to -3? Well, if I add this, now I've got -7, -6, -5, -4, -3. How many did I add? I added 5. Does that make sense? Yeah, it does, because Kirby is 5 meters higher than Abby. What does that look like on a number line? Well, we start at -8, and we add 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, until we get to Kirby's height. That's it for today. Thanks for watching.